Hi class, taking a break from getting ready for school, setting up my room on our first day back in Carroll County to welcome you to RSM 550, which officially began last night at midnight. I don't know how many people have logged in. I'll be checking everything a little bit later tonight after I get home from work and have dinner and hug the kids and do all those fun things. So first, make sure you get to the Best Practice Cafe. Make sure that you make your entry before Wednesday. I really need you to log on within the first 24 hours, so hopefully by tomorrow morning at the latest, because I need to verify the roster. But I need to make partner assignments. I'm thinking I'm going to do that Wednesday. You'll have partners for peer review in this first module, so I need to get those done right away. I can't do it until everyone has made their intro, because I try to link you up with people that you would like to work with. Okay, a couple things. There are 4 grades in every module. In this module, the 4 grades are your boards. I need you to do thread 1 early. You can do thread 2 this weekend or next week. If you feel like you want to do it this week, it's fine. But on the boards, you're not only graded for your depth and your reflection and your critique and your critical feedback, but I also am grading you on spreading out your post. So you need to do a post early in the module, you need to do a post in the middle of the module, and then you need to give a reply, spread it out. You're required to do 1 original post and 1 reply, but a lot of times students do many more replies. You also need to have your chapter worksheet. I just want to point out that is only worth 4 points. So 4 points worth of work should be considered. Your research direction is 15 points. So you should really be spending about 1/4 of the time that you'd spend on the research direction on your chapter worksheet. That may mean that you have to skim some. I'm okay with that. Make sure that you fill out the questions from the chapter worksheet, because that's what I have considered the most important learning. And you may have to go back and fill in the gaps if you choose a research direction that requires that. Learning logs, you only need to make 1 entry. A lot of students wait until the end, but there's no reason why you can't break up your 2 or 3 paragraph entry into 2 or 3 single paragraph entries. There's a lot of questions I pose. You can answer a few of those, 1 of those, none of those. It can be anything. A lot of students say that this is redundant with the boards. It shouldn't be. It should not be the same thing that you're putting on the boards. I don't want to see anything cut and pasted. The learning log is your conversation with me, and I comment back on the learning log. I comment back on every original posting on the boards. Make me feel good and know that you've read it by replying back to me. That way I can feel good about myself too as we go through. Your final activity for this module is the research direction, and I'll give you more information about that as we go through. There is a sample from the last time I taught this posted if you'd like to take a look, but before this weekend I'll make another video. I'll let you know specifically what I'm looking for. Keep in mind that all the work in my class is designed to build. The first paper becomes part of the last paper. A lot of your learning log entries, a lot of your discussion boards will become text in your paper. So nothing is busy work. Everything has a purpose and builds. One word about the peer review partners. Don't be the guy or the girl that gives your peer review partner 1 day to get peer review. Try to get your paper, plan out your time, get it written, so that they can have it Thursday or Friday next week, and they have a day or 2 to get it back to you, and you have time to make revisions. Okay? Otherwise, the peer review process is not helpful. You are going to submit your review of your partner's paper. So you do a review, you do your paper, those 2 things get turned into me. I'll remind you of that. I don't need the review of your paper from you. I'll get that from someone else, and I'll keep track of it. It's all very complex, but hey, I'm supposed to be a smart guy. So you are turning in the peer review that you do for someone else. So you're not waiting on getting something back. Once you've got yours back, once you've made your corrections or your revisions, you turn in the one that you did for them, the one that you did, and your paper, and I grade that. Okay, couple things. In the course, we're going to talk a lot about qualitative versus quantitative. So this is the part of the video you might want to replay. Qualitative research answers questions about how, and it generalizes to theory. Quantitative research is numbers, and that's going to answer relation questions and try to generalize to populations. The purpose of quantitative research is to generalize to populations so that we can predict an outcome and potentially control it. Neither one is good or bad. We do need both. There is something called mixed methods, and there are variations of quantitative and qualitative research. You're only going to do one. And while I'm talking about it, we're going to make a research proposal, but we are not actually doing the research. All you're doing is proposing. So if you want to propose a very large quantitative study that studies every school in the country, go for it. You're not actually doing it. If you think you might actually do the study, then I'd recommend making it more manageable, but we'll talk about that one-on-one as we go through. One particular focus: research and literature search are not the same thing. A literature search is when you're looking at everything that's available online, and you are looking at the databases to write a review. Research is empirical. You're asking questions, you're taking test scores and analyzing, you're doing something with original data. Finally, when you choose your question, go right on to the McDaniel website and Hoover Library and look to see how many scholarly articles you can find. If you don't find a lot, that might not be bad, but you should contact me, because for your literature search that you'll do, you'll begin that next module. If you have a big topic, I need you to make a very narrow question. If you have nothing, then we may need to back up for the literature search. But your question can be whatever you want it to be, but how you search for literature is going to change based on that. And I'll address that individually as we go through. So that's a lot of information. That's all for now. I hope you guys have a great day if you're back today, if you have students, if you're getting your rooms ready, and make some time to carve up this class so that it's not a lot at the end. You do want to space it out. It's a lot of thinking work in this first module, but after we get through this, you should be in good shape. So I'll see you on the boards. Onward.